Welcome back to the channel, you guys. It is your boy, your friend, your only friend, the one, the trustworthy friend. Yes, drop gems. We're going to drop another gem today on John Q. 2002's John Q. The reason I'm doing this massive, awesome rant, or just awesome rant on this movie is because I love this movie. I've always loved this movie. It doesn't get enough talk about, it doesn't get enough hype or praise or, anything like that. It's not on anyone's lists, and no one really talks about it as far as Denzel films go, because he's got such an awesome catalog of films. It's hard to pick just a couple, isn't it? As you see here, as we go through his IMDb. Um, but this movie here, as you see, is rated pretty high, a 7.0. That disappoints me, though, guys. It disappoints me because it should be way higher than that. Way higher than that. This movie, man, it shakes you up. So it really gets into you, gets into your feels, whatever you want to say. We're going to go through the plot a little bit here my way, because I do know this movie, seen it a million times. It's a movie you've seen on probably TV, played a million times, probably skipped over it or watched it once and said, okay, whatever. It's too drama filled, it's too cryy, it's too intense. It is an intense movie from start to finish. There's no doubt. Denzel, you give this man words on paper, right? Give him words on paper and he'll make them come alive. He'll make a movie out of the words just by his acting. You give this guy a story and man, he'll make it come to life and he'll make you believe what's going on. And I do all the time, and he's no different in this movie, guys. You believe him as John Archibald, John Q here, John Quincy Archibald, and he does what he does. And his wife does well too, I would say in the beginning, but she's always mad at him, guys, and forcing him to do shit, like she's not really sensitive to him at all in this movie. That's the only fucking downside. Yeah, that's the only thing I'm gonna rant on, really, guys, is that his wife's there. They could have done a better casting job with her, honestly, to be truthful. You don't see her in much movies anymore. She was in another movie after this with Denzel, I think The Nigerian Candidate, just because she knew Denzel, or, Denzel liked her, thought she'd be the next big thing, but she wasn't, of course. You never see her in anything big anymore. Um, because she just doesn't fit the part there. It's hard. It seems like it's hard for her to cry, and then when she does cry, it feels like she's really forcing it. And Denzel does it so naturally. So he just does it when on he does it on cue. That I was gonna say. But yeah, this movie, I just wanted to talk about it from from my heart and my gut, and say that it just, if you have kids or you don't have kids, it doesn't matter, because I'm sure you have a father of some type, or even if you don't, you have a brother or something. The speech at the end that John Q gives his son will will get to you. It will get to you. And I think that's one of the top scenes and speeches or monologues, whatever you want to say, or just movie scenes, cinematic wise, whatever you want to say. And there's no CGI, guys. There's nothing fantastic. It's just Denzel who's fantastic. And that's it. Because his son is not even talking. You don't even see him. They're just focused on Denzel, and they just let him go. And man, this guy deserves every penny that he's earned, and more. I mean, that speech at the end, guys. So I wanted to just hit those points home on this awesome movie rant. So let's get to this fucking plot here. I love that I cursed during this very touching movie, very sensitive subject movie, but it has to be done. This is what I do. So if you don't like me, turn me the fuck off. That's what I said. Anyways, this movie goes 36 million. Most of that went to Denzel, and the box office grossed 100 million just off Denzel. So the director here, we're not going to talk. I don't want to do that. So you got some supporting cast characters in here, like Anne Heche, of course, James Woods and Robert Duvall, and of course Ray Liotta. God rest his soul, and one of the greatest ever to do it, Ray Liotta, and Denzel, of course, in this movie, and that's good. They're not even on screen, these two guys, right? Ray Liotta and Denzel, but you feel this chemistry between them. Not even at the fucking screen. They don't even talk. It's fucking awesome. They talk one time when he comes out, seeing that part, and it's a great part because he gives in to John. He's this high and mighty cop, but he gives in to John because he knows he fucked up. It's good. I like that about that Ray Liotta character. It makes me feel for him. He brings a lot to the screen with a small part. Ray Liotta, we love you. We will always love you. John Q, Denzel, we love you. Let's go. So let's get into this plot, finish this fucking rant up. So anyways, We got more ranting to do on fucking a million movies to tell the truth on, people. Watch this fucking movie. Why haven't you watched it like a million fucking times and be quoting this shit to me and be doing the impersonation of Denzel, being very upset there? Listen to this. Anyways, so in the beginning of this movie, you see a young woman who's killed by a car crash. So they give you a little foresight that Denzel's son might live here, or there's a chance, there's a purpose here to what this movie is trying to say. There's a purpose to everything they're trying to say. So, anyways, you meet Denzel and you shoot to Denzel, and he's in his home with his wife and his son, Michael. I believe it's Mike, and John here is talking to his son, and the chemistry and the relationship between John and the son is just, it's great. And you see it, and you see how he treats his son. But right in the beginning, I'm sorry, I'm skipping ahead a little bit. His car is repoed, so you could tell that John is down and out on his luck. Something's happening here. Like, what the fuck, John? Like, so his wife is angry. This chick is always angry at John for something. So the movie, I hate that part about this movie. If they casted that better and did that wife part better, not even I'll give her that. Don't even cast it that part better. Just do it better. Um, yeah, the movie would have been, I think, way more. I don't know. I don't even want to say that because I love the movie, so I don't even want to knock it that hard. But check this shit. So yeah. Denzel, the wife's mad at him, whatever. Anyways, you see they drive to school to drop his son off. You see the interactions between this family, and it's a close-knit family. Even though they have very little, they have a lot of love. So they're very rich, even though he might think they're poor. John might not feel that his family is, you know, better off the way they're doing things, the way he's doing things. He's spending more time at home. Maybe he has less work hours and less money to do things, but he can do more because he's at home with his son. You see that. He's at the dinner table for breakfast. He's driving him to school. He's spending a lot of time with the family, guys. So you got to give John Q that credit and those props, even though he's not, 40 hours a week and bringing in massive amounts of cash. They're just scraping by. He's doing, it serves a purpose in a way because he's able to spend time at home and they benefit more. So you can see that the child lights up. Mike looks to John for every sort of advice. He looks to John for approval. He looks to John for all these things, and he's there. And when he looks for John, he sees him because he's there. He doesn't not see him because he's at work working 40 hours a week. But this is where it's a double-edged sword, guys. This is where life, of course, will throw you that curveball. As we see, they're at a baseball game there. Mike is playing. Mike goes down. Mike clutches his chest. He goes down. His eyes roll in the back of his head. Of course, that's what I'm fucking talking about. The family immediately reacts. It's their son. They rush onto the field, and they grab Mike and rush him. They don't even wait for the ambulance, which is fucking great. I mean, it's so what it should happen. Props to the director on that, and the writers, and they fucking the director, because the director let it go in. Great job. And yeah, they take him to the hospital, and it's at the hospital you see this nurse, and he asks John for his insurance card when all this mess is happening with his son. And John doesn't even know what's happening with his son. But the first thing this hospital wants is his insurance card. They want money. And John's just like, kind of, you see it, Denzel, man. Like, when you tell Denzel, this is okay, here it is on the paper, this is what you got to do. And man, he fucking does it. Like, how hard is that? Especially in that scene. Like, they're going to ask for your insurance card now, Denzel. And, what you're going to do is this, bada, bada. And he does it, man. Like, he just does it. Like, exactly what you think how you would react or how you think he should react, he does. And so, anyways, John is just like, he's twitching over this. He's like, what the fuck? So his head's spinning a little bit, but he comes back down to reality. He puts aside his emotions and anger about that, and he does what they say, gives him the card. He goes and sees his son, and basically through this point, you're introduced to a couple more characters, Anne Heche here and James Wood, who plays a cardiologist, a doctor that works on hearts, and he does specialized heart surgeries, and that's what the problem is here. Michael has a fucking enlarged heart or something, a bad heart, a bad ticker, guys, and he needs a new one fast, or he's going to die. And that's basically the bottom line. That's what James Wood explains to him. And this scene with Denzel, with the wife next to him, is great. I love it. I mean, even the wife here, she does wonderful. So, I believe it's Gabriella, huh? So yeah, she does the job on this one. So it's a good scene. They don't have the money for it. He's like, the chick there's this Anne Hayes. She's just so mean about it, and she's just like, listen, you need this down payment, or we can't do shit for you. You got to send him home to die, to waste away. So it puts Denzel in another position. See, guys, this was all a boiling point. I love how the movie stresses that John was already feeling some type of way, that John already had enough on his plate, that John was boiling water about to overflow and burn the shit out of everybody. But see, John, he keeps it together for his son, and even between this turmoil here he's going through, and his wife as well is pushing him, basically taunting him to do something, do something, do something, get the money, get the money, and it's all about money, guys, and they do everything they can, and John does everything he can. He sells all his fucking possessions. Look at that. He sells everything. The fridge, this is Reading Wing one night. He says, "Oh, I can get it." It's great. It's a great movie. It's a great scene. It's something you would do. You sell the clothes off your fucking back, to get your child a new heart. And we're gonna see how far John is willing to go. That's not even that's what I love about this movie. It's not even the tip of the fucking iceberg for that. Selling all your shit. Nope, not for John. That's peanuts. So we're gonna get what he does, and he gets a phone call after he sells a lot of the last of his possessions. He gets a phone call from his wife, and his wife's like, they're sending him home. They're sending Michael home. That's it. He's going to die, and she ramps him up. She ramps him up and tells him, do something. And that's fucking it. John's had enough. John, when your wife is telling you, do something, and there's nothing you can do to grab this money out the sky, or go outside and grab it off a fucking tree, or go ask a millionaire, or go put an ad in the paper, or put up a GoFundMe, ain't no GoFundMe back then, it would take too long to raise that money. He knows it. Time is of the essence. John Q. He acts. He grabs a 9mm pistol or whatever it is, and he goes to the hospital. He finds James Wood, Mr. Cardiologist. He puts the gun to his head, and he tells him, "You will give my son a new heart." And that's that. He clears out the hospital with the gun, obviously. People are fucking scattering. He takes a couple hostage, maybe 8 or 9 of these people. You get to meet them. You see them. They do great. Great supporting cast. Wonderful to you. And you're invested in some of them, but not really. They just try to have little side stories with them. You know how the hostage situation goes. He's a good guy, John Q. He's going to help give some advice, and all these hostages will live because John Q is after one thing and one thing only, and that's his son, getting him a new heart. So through this period here, you see interactions. You see how these they talk a lot. They talk a lot about shit, and it's good. It's entertaining because it's Denzel Washington, guys. So it's entertaining. Denzel just carries. But there's one scene here where they call him on the phone, the cops, and Ray Liotta comes into the picture over Robert Duvall, who is running the show. But no. Ray Liotta is Mr. Police Chief. Comes in, takes over command, sends in a secret sniper to take out John Q, and it happens to be televised because these news reporters outside hacked into the feed and now have spread it across America on TV sets around the world back in 2002. And anyways, they're fucking awesome, and they tap in, and yeah, they see this on TV, bada bada. They miss the shot on John. He's able to live and walk away unscathed, and they give him another hostage, which is the cop. John Q's had enough of this shit. He's like, oh shit, they're trying to kill me. They're trying to help my son. They're trying to, he's so concerned about his son, which I love. John Q, Denzel, what a fucking performance. What a movie. And, this whole time, his whole focus is his child. And he goes outside with the gun in front of the cops, and with the sniper that missed, and he says, listen, I give you a sniper, you just give me my son, I'm going to say goodbye to him. Because at this point in the movie, there's nothing he can do. But you see little flashes here at this point that woman in the beginning that was smashed by the semi, she's a perfect match donor. So that shit is coming. But John, I don't know. This time is of the essence here, guys. And they really do a great job of faking you out or keeping you on edge. It's fucking wonderful. And yeah, so John comes out with that sniper, and he's like, they give him this, I'll give you a sniper, you give me my son. They get this, Ray Liotta, like I mentioned that part, great job. Bada bing, they give it to him, and they want this shit to be over with. So does John. And yeah, they give him his son. This is the part I told you about too earlier with the speech. Man, what a speech. And there's a speech before that, though. There's a little scene with James Woods and the cardiologist doctor, and it's great because the dialogue, whoever written the movie, is wonderful. Like they must have went through something like that or something, known someone. This is just the dialogue and what he's saying is fucking perfect. Like it's shit that you would say, that you'd want to say. And Denzel says it in a way where, man, you know he means it. So good shit on the dime. I'm not gonna break it all down. See the movie. What the fuck are you doing listening to me and my words? You should be watching John Q 2002. So anyways, um, yeah. So the speech is done with the child because when he was talking, like I mentioned to James Woods here, he told him, "My son's getting a heart, and it's gonna be mine." So John Q is ready to dome himself, to kill himself, wipe himself off the face of the earth so his son can live on the face of the earth and prosper and grow and enjoy a full life. Because John has already had his life, he's had his purpose fulfilled in his son already. So he says, what the fuck? My son's gonna live. And that's exactly what he says. And yeah, they get ready to do surgery, and John to kill him, to end himself so that he can give his heart to his son. They can put it right into him because his son's dying. It's hours away from death. But that heart's on the way. That woman that crashed, that heart's on the way. That donor heart's on the way. It's a match. It's in the system. Anne Hayes put it in. It's in there. Bam. That heart's on the way. The wife gets the news. She wants to relay it real quick to John. She doesn't give a fuck. She just runs through the hostage barrier. She runs through the cops. She bangs on the door. She's yelling for John. You see John. And I love this part. No one mentions probably this part, and how this part is so subtle, but so true in meaning, and such a meaning. He's like, I'm thirsty, He's licking his lips, and he's like, I'm thirsty. And then he puts the gun to his head and is just about to pull it. So that's when I thought he did it. He ended his life to save his son, but just like a Jesus moment, basically. I think Jesus said he was thirsty before he expired. So, same thing with Mr. Q here. He's pretty thirsty. He's got cotton mouth before his death, and you think he's dead, and they leave you hanging for a couple seconds, for a couple minutes, and it's so good. But you see him in the surgery room. He didn't kill himself. They were in time on telling him that the donor heart was there, and he didn't have to give his heart to his son, but he did give his heart to his son in many more ways than just physical, in this scenario here, in this situation. So anyways, John Q lives, of course. He has to go to court, though, to answer for what he did as far as kidnapping, holding guns, going in. You can't do shit like that and walk away. I like how they followed up on that. Mr. Q has to serve a little time in jail. He's not guilty of the higher charges, of course, because what he did, I don't know. There's something about, I don't know. I don't want to condone that, of course, by any means. But the movies, that's where the movie gets you, So it's up to the viewer to decide if he was right or wrong or whatever, if he deserves jail time. I love that about the movies. Then please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this shit up. So this rant, this awesome fucking rant up, has been long enough. So yes, he gets to spend a couple jail time, but you see Michael at the end, and Michael is strong. Michael is ready. Michael is brand new, and Michael knows now what real love is. He knows that no matter what his father doesn't have, or what his mom, what they don't have, they're the strongest around. They're rich in strength and love. Love is what matters in the end, and they prove that. This movie proves that. They're happy. Okay. I love this movie. I love Denzel. Thank you guys for listening. This awesome movie rant.